Uday, Bengal fans. He is Eric. I am Jake, the man, the myth, the legend. Mon is going to be joining us in three.
Hey, there we
I
go.
was off. You were on. There he is. Uh, this is the Bengals Pulse, the heartbeat of our Cincinnati Bengals. Uday to everybody out there. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight. You guys are so awesome. We appreciate it. We got a lot to talk about. Some news in Bengaldom, and of course, not just our game tonight, but now that we have become scoreboard watchers, uh, we have not just because of our game on Sunday tonight, as Joe Burrow said, is a very big game. So obviously, the Bengals players also scoreboard watching, along with all of us Bengal fans, as the Broncos take on the Chargers tonight. A game with huge implications on the Bengals' playoff chances. Before we get to all of that, who day, everybody? Mon, how's your week been, buddy?
Good. Very, very, very good. Getting ready for Christmas. Like to get a Christmas present tonight. I want my newly found love for the San Diego or Los Angeles Chargers. Want them to win. I want my Edmonton Oilers to win tonight. Two of my kids are in town for the holidays. They'll be here for a few weeks. I'm excited about that.
Awesome.
Jake and Olivia got to spend some time with them Christmas shopping today and getting ready for the big day next week. And that is not a Bengal game; it's Christmas.
So, and a Bengal game.
Let's get that Christmas. That's right. Let's get that Christmas present tonight, though. Let's get an early one.
Yes, let's get it. Let's have the old Stan Humphries San Diego Chargers show up tonight and beat on the Denver Broncos.
Dan Fouts.
What was that running back's name that played with Stan Humphries when they went to the Super Bowl?
Natrone Means.
Natrone Means. Yes, it's Stan Humphries. Eric, how's your week been, buddy?
Oh, that's a lot of throwback right there.
We're old. Mon and I are old.
Wait a second. Eric, it's holidays. You freaking talking crap about us, calling us old.
I know you don't always call
Hey, I said
old.
throwback. I didn't say anything. I said throwback.
You have a Britney Spears poster in your room. You're a young guy.
Oh,
we got
man.
rock and roll bands.
Oops, he did it again. My week's it's been busy. Big critical stuff coming up at work with the first launch coming soon. Got 535 athletes in the flag football league that I helped run.
Nice.
Just down there tonight. So trying to coordinate and all that, getting practices kicked off, getting ready to hand out jerseys and get that going. So it's been a really, really busy couple weeks, busy week here. We're hoping that the game tonight doesn't have Mon saying up yours San Diego, so we want to say up yours Colorado.
Nice.
That,
Nice Anchorman callback there. I like it. Well done, Eric. Well done with
and
the
that was
Anchorman.
actually in this century, so I'm okay with that.
that whole scene. We won't say all of it. Obviously, we'll keep it appropriate.
Right.
But the Santiago, what does he say? He goes, I believe it's pronounced Santiago. Yeah. No, it's not. She's like, no, it's not. All right, so let's get to the show, guys. Let's get to Bengal news first. Eric, you have some topics. Let's get right to them.
Yeah, it's not been a super busy week. I mean, we do have some Bengals hard knock stuff that came out. That was pretty cool. The most significant thing was, we've talked all year about Miles Murphy needing to play more, Sam Hubbard having an injury-filled year. But we've got news that Sam Hubbard is out for the year. That his last catch or last play was a touchdown catch. So little sad to see the longtime player go out for the year. But my question for you guys is, was Sam Hubbard's last play as a Cincinnati Bengal that touchdown catch? What are you thinking on that?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to say yes, it is. I think Sam Hubbard's last play as a Bengal was a touchdown catch. The first defensive player since 1968 to score a touchdown for the Bengals. I do think Sam Hubbard is. I don't think he will be a Bengal next year, and I think it's going to be one of those hard, heavy hitting uh, cuts that I think we all are Sam Hubbard fans. We all know what he has done for the city and what he's all about. And we have some great memories of Sam Hubbard. I have one of his jerseys. I love him. I'm a huge Sam Hubbard fan. I think the injuries and the age, I think those things have started to catch up with him. And I think the Bengals understand that, that they have to get younger on that side of the ball. I do think Jennifer's right, too. I think the only way that he stays is maybe that they restructure his contract and they get him for cheap. But I think if that doesn't happen, I don't think Sam Hubbard's in stripes next year. Mom, what do you think?
I think I agree with you. You know what? We talk a lot on the show about the trenches and how the Bengals struggle drafting defensive linemen, offensive linemen. Well, they did not. They got it right with Sam Hubbard. He was a third round pick. He's had a great career with the Cincinnati Bengals. You just said it perfectly. Injuries have caught up to him. Last year, he had that high ankle sprain. He's had a leg injury, hamstring issue this year. It has affected his play. I mean, there is no
Yeah.
doubt about it. Nobody will ever question his heart and desire. He's been a very good pro, great leadership.
Great
This year,
leadership.
yeah, unbelievable leader. And this is going to come across as a complaint. I appreciate they want that steady leadership on the field, but he has been limited. And you know what? We've invested a lot of draft capital and young draft picks. Wasai, Miles Murphy, Cedric Johnson. You know what? Those guys are young and healthy. You got to sort of weigh it like, hey, this guy's limited. He's a veteran. He's a solid player, but his injuries have caught up to him, at least this year. Play the young guys, and we're going to start seeing that. I would be surprised if he comes back next year at $10 million a year. I just don't see that happening. Jennifer did bring up a great point, though. Maybe they could restructure and bring him back for a veteran leadership, but I doubt that. I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening either. And I think, too, guys. I mean, we're. I think we can all agree that I think the T. Higgins deal is going to get done, and $10 million a year for added on to that to help with the T. Higgins situation. I think the Bengals' eyes are going to light up when they see that, Bear.
Yeah, and it was, I don't know if you guys heard the press conferences this week, but it was interesting to hear Joe Burrow talk about what an impact Sam Hubbard had on helping him learn how to be a pro, not just from a little bit of time in college, but coming into the league. He was
Yes.
talking about how Sam really taught him the off-field stuff and the stuff he does with his diet. So it was kind of neat to get that view into that. I've got to follow up on that. Do you think this is it for Sam, or do you think another team is going to take a chance on Sam? Mom, why don't you field that first?
It depends on his recovery. If he has a procedure, if he has surgery, he still has productive snaps in him. I could see a team potentially bringing him in the camp. It might even be our Bengals. He's from Cincinnati, and the organization absolutely loves him. But we need better play from that spot right now. And with his injuries, he's not capable of doing that because of his injuries, not because I think he's a talented guy, but those injuries have limited him. There was an interview with Lapham after one of our losses this year. He actually said that some doctors recommended he have surgery, and he didn't want to do that. He's a warrior, man. He's an absolute warrior, and I admire that. But there has to be a balance here. Is he giving you anything? Because if you're not getting a lot of production from that spot, you got to bring in a young guy that may be raw, but has better athletic ability that might be able to do that.
If he's not in stripes, I think he's going to retire. I don't see him playing for anyone else. Again, I think if Jennifer's comment does not happen and they do not restructure his contract, I think he will retire. And honestly, I really think that's the way it's going to go. I think he's going to retire. I think that that's what I have on my bingo card is that he will retire and he will go out the way he came in, and that's a pro. I mean, like Mon said, I mean, he has been an incredible presence in the locker room. Listen, Sam Hubbard is part of the reason why this team that we're watching now was built the way it was. I mean, he was one of those steady guys. We saw Tyler Boyd leave in free agency. Tyler Boyd has not had a year at all, and I think Sam Hubbard doesn't want to go out like that. So I see Sam retiring and going out, like I said, the way he came in as a pro.
For sure. I mean, I would hope so. I don't want to see him anywhere else, but someone could take a swing on him. The other Bengals news that just came out today, it's not crazy news, but it's that time of year. Christmas coming up. Quarterbacks notoriously giving their players gifts. So it just came out today that Joe Burrow gifted his offensive lineman authentic Japanese katana swords. I think that's awesome. I know last year he gave him swords, so that got me wondering if one, you can comment. What do you think of his gift? I think it's pretty cool, but I want to get your guys to chime in here. If you were the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals, what would you gift your offensive line? Not that offensive line, because I know not everybody might agree that they should get gifts, but if Mon Abuhassan was the quarterback of the Bengals, what is he going to gift his offensive lineman?
The interior offensive line, Pepto, because
I was gonna say blocking for dummies.
I'd give them Pepto because they give me diarrhea at times.
Not what they did. What do they deserve? What do you gift them to bribe them?
That's a joke. I'm trying to be funny. Okay, I'm sorry.
You are funny.
You know what?
You're a funny
I
guy.
I'd give them gift cards. I'd do something nice for them.
Gift cards.
But with my salary at the fire department,
Eric's saying if you had money,
Oh, if I had money. Okay, if I had money, you know what? I'd buy him a nice gift card, $30.
Jake, come on. I got a good one, but you go ahead, Jake.
Go ahead, Jake.
You know what's funny is Mon would probably get a gift card, $30 to Starbucks.
You know what? What Bob said. That's what I'd give him. A Bologna sandwich right there, man. Look at that. Bologna.
Yeah,
I know.
I know. I don't know how you outdo a katana sword. That is so. First of all, that's so Joe Burrow. That's why he is the best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, that is incredible. I think the only thing that could outdo that is maybe get them authentic, real life lightsabers. I'm talking about real. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, Eric. I know they do. Don't pretend like lightsabers are not real, Eric. Don't do that. Do not do that.
I got an answer. 5 Bengals Pulse t-shirts.
There you go. I love it. Gold, like the sequence ones. Yeah. So
I'd get the interior guys the reject with a hole in them, but the other guys get the fancy ones.
Well, you guys know my gift, and this, you might see this in the future, but my gift, as a golfer and someone who drives a Bengals car, I'm getting them custom Bengals golf clubs. They're orange and black, and they're all going to have a custom golf cart that looks much like a car that I drive, with black with orange stripes, pimped out, do it all up. Or Joe maybe can get them all mini Batmobiles, since he's got the good Batmobile. They should all get little golf cart Batmobiles.
Yeah, that salary kicked in for Joe, didn't it? Batmobiles.
I'm excited to see that Batmobile. You know what I want to see more than the Batmobile? I want to see the Batcave. I mean, you got to have a Batcave if you have a Batmobile.
Well, and I like what he's got, a good house sitter to watch that Batcave. So.
Oh, that was good. I like what KP says here. He says he got him swords because he knows some of them are going to get cut.
Oh, Lord, I hope not. Oh, Lord.
Hey, that's good, KP. Listen, we got some comedians in here. like legit.
Do you remember?
Comedians.
Do you remember 2 years ago before he signed his big contract?
Hey, Mom, Bob
Before-
said a sweet Hummer.
Before
I'm guessing the car.
this show's going off the rails tonight,
ahead, Mom,
man.
go.
Okay. 2 years ago, before Joe signed his big contract. Yeah, before he signed his big contract, he bought his guys like these really like $1,800 Casio G-Shock gold watches with diamonds on them, and he said, "Yeah, with my current contract, this is what I had to get him." Each watch was $1,800, like he was being cheap.
Crazy.
So I would love to know what one of these swords cost. I mean, are they 10, 20 grand? I mean, I have no idea.
Easy.
If somebody is a specialist on katana swords,
they have to be expensive because they're not custom made. They're authentic katana swords.
Wow.
Like each one is different. Like they're collectors. Like they were found somewhere, and yeah.
Oh, that's easy. Listen,
Wow.
that's easy. That's easy. 10, 20 grand, I'm sure. I mean, custom. Those things have got to be crazy expensive.
Yeah, and last year he sent them all packing on a cruise, so I guess some of them came back. So this year he's getting them the sword. So
It's swords because he knows they're getting cut. I love it.
All right,
they all need an MRI to get the glass out of their belly, because they're all glass eaters.
I want to know what he got Frank Pollock. That's what I want to know. Moving on. Let's move it on because we got to get going. We got a big game coming up here in just about 20 minutes. So let's talk about that. Bengals moved a little step closer to this possibility of getting into the playoffs with the Colts losing last week. We still need the Colts to lose one more. We need the Dolphins to lose one more. But the big thing that needs to happen is the Denver Broncos needs to lose 3 straight. Tonight's a big one, so let's talk about that. What are we thinking are the odds tonight that the Chargers can take down the Broncos? Mon, why don't you chime in first?
I think the Chargers are going to win. I want that to happen, but I think it's legitimate. They have a good shot playing at home. I think on prime time, it's just teams play harder when they're at home in prime time. I expect the Chargers to win tonight, and the scenario you laid out, if that happens, that game next week at Cincinnati is going to be absolutely huge. Need a couple other little things to happen. The Kansas City Chiefs cannot finish tied with the Bills because the Bills have the tiebreaker. So hopefully they have to play Week 18, play hard to get that home field advantage. There's a lot of ifs. Colts have to lose a game and all that. You just talked about some of those, but I think the Chargers win tonight.
Yeah, I listen
real quick. It's
$30,000.
$30,000 estimated for that blade. By the way, we're doing some research here. So,
we think
30,000.
Am I out of a job? Who's background producing over there?
Olivia was doing some research.
Olivia,
30,000. This is so estimated. They said this is on the internet. Everything is correct on the internet. There's no lies. It's a $10,000 to $30,000 estimate. So
that's crazy. That is crazy. I listen. Obviously, too. I want to make sure that this is cleared up because we had a lot of people asking questions about this on Twitter. So, listen. We either need the Broncos to lose out or the Chargers to lose out. So whoever loses tonight, that team has got to lose out. And obviously we want it to be the Broncos to lose tonight because the Bengals obviously get an opportunity to take them down next week. So if the Chargers win or lose tonight, the Bengals are still in it, just so you know, guys. We just need whoever to lose tonight to lose out the rest of the way. Obviously, Titans play the Colts this weekend. Again, Callie, we're counting on you, Callie. We need you to win that football game. So Titans over the Colts. 49ers play the Dolphins. I think that's a win for the 49ers. We want the Bills to win, and do we want the Texans to win over the Chiefs? I believe so, right?
Yeah, because that's the Broncos play the Mon, you're muted, but Broncos play the Chiefs in the final game of the season. We want the Chiefs to need to win that game. Go ahead, Mon.
The Chiefs have a 2-game lead on the Bills. They need to lose one. because
That's why
that
the
forces
Texans.
them.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they need that forces them to play all their starters last week of the season, because
Right.
if they finish tied, they're in trouble. They'll be the 2 seed.
And there's a good shot that they do lose the game because they're playing that game, and then they got the turnaround playing on the Christmas Day game, and Patrick Mahomes is playing with another ankle sprain. You know, they're not gonna. He's not gonna be as mobile. They could easily lose that Christmas game against the Steelers because the Steelers take it for what it is, hate it for what it is. They've got a great defense, so they should be able to hit him some more. So there's a possibility.
Well, I think the good thing is this. The good thing is this, guys, is that no matter who wins tonight, if the Bengals win Sunday, they are still playing for a playoff spot next week, and that is what we want. Is for the Bengals to play worthy games down the stretch, and but obviously, you also want to kind of put a little bit of it in your own hands, and if the Broncos lose tonight, the Bengals can do that, put a little bit of that in their own hands, and take down the Broncos. Because listen, if it does come down to that final week and the Broncos are playing the Chiefs, no matter who's playing for the Chiefs, that's a lot of pressure on a rookie quarterback to have to go out and win a football game. Joe Burrow, I have complete faith in Joe Burrow. We've seen him do it numerous times. Joe Burrow is going to go out that last week and beat the Steelers if it's for a playoff spot. There's no doubt in my mind. Bo Nix, on the other hand, if we can put him in that pressure situation that last week, it don't matter who's playing. I mean, listen, I know he's not Patrick Mahomes, but the Chiefs backup almost won an MVP one year. So he's not, he's not some kind of, crappy backup quarterback. He's a guy that's won a lot of football games. So
North Dakota State boy, yes.
North Dakota State boy, that's right. I forgot Carson Wentz with the North Dakota State. That's right.
Yes,
but yeah, I mean, Wentz had some pretty good years in this league. So I feel very confident if the Broncos lose tonight, the Bengals are playing that final week for a playoff spot. I really do believe that's going to happen. But I think the Broncos have to lose tonight.
For sure. Okay, so let's move on to our matchup. Originally we were supposed to be playing tonight, but we got flexed out. We got moved to Stripe the Jungle, got moved to Sunday. So a little disappointing not to see that under the lights, but that is what it is. So let's talk about this matchup with the Browns. Browns don't have much to play for other than a playoff spot, but they still got Myles Garrett, and he's the driving force behind keeping those guys playing. We did get news this week that we would not be playing against famous Jameis, so that's a little disappointing seeing all the pick six he's throwing, but let's get into it. Why don't we let's talk about this week's matchup. What do you guys got?
Mon, you want to start off?
Yeah, I mean, they're a dangerous team. I know the record doesn't show it, but they're a dangerous team to the Bengals because we did beat them last time, and but they've had our number over the years. Their defense is just a very good matchup for the Bengals offense. Great defensive backs, great pass rush. Myles Garrett's a Hall of Famer. They really have good defensive tackles. They know how to get to the quarterback. We just have to be smart, no turnovers. I think that's the only way we lose this game is if we lose the turnover battle, something stupid happens there. No turnovers, we win. It's that simple. But we just got to make sure we're smart. I think it's going to be ugly a little bit, but then I think Joe is going to settle in. He's going to get his points. I'm not worried about that quarterback. I'm not at all.
No.
I think that we're going to our defense will match up well against theirs. They do have some decent players, but I think that quarterback is just the gap is so big between Joe Burrow and him. It would stun me if they do a lot of damage on offense.
Well, and two, I think you look at this Browns team and they are beat up, guys. I mean, they are coming into this Bengals game on a short week and they are beat to hell. Myles Garrett's banged up. Shelby Harris starting defensive tackles banged up. Cameron Mitchell, Martin Emerson, all those guys are starters on defense, all banged up. Cedric Tillman, the starting receivers banged up. Njoku's banged up. This team is beat up right now, and man, it's perfect timing for the Bengals. Dorian Thompson obviously started the game last time the Bengals played, and he was not very good. So I mean, I love this matchup this week. I think the Bengals win this by a couple scores. I think that one thing we didn't talk about, guys, that we talked about after the Bengals game was the confrontation that went on between Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor on the sideline. We found out this week what that was all about was Joe Burrow basically saying that, he's embarrassed about the way the offense played on Sunday. I think this offense is going to come out and light up the Cleveland Browns. I think this is going to be a big game for the offense and a big win for the Bengals. I just think, like I said, this Browns team is beat up, and Dorian Thompson does not scare me at all. I would rather him start than Jameis Winston, to be honest with you.
Yeah. The only thing that concerns me is if they get the run game going, that could do some damage.
Well, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb is out with a broken foot, right?
Yeah, that's another one, right? Chubb's out for the season.
Yeah. So they do have Jerome Ford, Cincinnati kid, so that could still be a thing that we have to focus on. One of the big things there is we need Mike Hilton to be Mike Hilton. He seems to be that run stopping corner that is surprising. The key to taking down Derrick Henry and these other big running backs. Did see that Alex Kappa was still in concussion protocol, and that brought up a question for you guys. Could we see a Matt Lee come out and playing Matt guard? We did hear from Zach Taylor that they label Matt Lee a guard center, not just a center. Could we see him, or could we see our practice squad guard jump in there if needed?
Go ahead, Mon.
No, I don't think the practice squad is going to get called up. All the draft experts, all the reputable ones, not the guys on Twitter, but everybody that follows the NFL and we trust, nobody has said Matt Lee's a guard. Everybody said he's a center. And so for the Bengals to say he's a guard, it shows you how screwed up their roster is. They don't really have anybody. No, seriously, they really don't have any young, promising guards. They bring in Cody Ford, who they have to keep potentially to play left tackle. It's just what they should do is maybe play Matt Lee at his best position, which is center, and allow Karras, who is a very good guard, to play guard. But at the same time, Matt Lee's never really played center in the NFL. So they don't really want to do that because center is the most important position, the calling the, blocking assignments and all that. So they want to keep Karras there. Hopefully Lee can come in and give us a couple good, a good game or so at guard, but nobody, no draft publication, no draft expert, nobody had him as a guard. And for the Cincinnati Bengals to say that shouldn't surprise anybody.
It shouldn't surprise anybody with Mr. Pollock there coaching the offensive line. I'm not sure he really understands offensive line play. But this Bengals team is beat up as well, guys. And I think we need to talk about that. T. Higgins on the injury report again today with a knee issue. We heard that Orlando Brown and Sheldon Rankins were at practice working off to the side, which might be a good sign for them returning soon. I don't know about this week. Cody Ford's still banged up, so going to be interesting to see if Devin Cochran gets that start again at left tackle. The Bengals raved about him on Monday, guys, the way he played. They said he started off slow, which he did, but really, really turned it up, especially the second half, and played really well. So although this Bengals team is a little beat up, I don't think any worse for the wear where they were last week when they scored, 30 points, because we'll give 7 to the defense. So this Bengals offense, I think, will still click on full cylinder here, even though they are beat up a little bit.
So, did we get any more information? Have you guys heard any more on T. Higgins? Because that was kind of a late thing that popped up. Is it what injury is he dealing with that we need to be concerned about, or is it a rest day?
Was it a knee issue or
It
today?
was a
They
knee.
said
It was a knee. That's what I read. I don't know if anybody in the comments knows anything different, but um, just I think maybe just a little bit of wear and tear. But I think I read that it was a knee issue, and he's missed the last 2 days of practice. But again, I still think T. Higgins goes. Just going to be interesting to see if this Bengals team runs out the same offensive lineman that they ran out last week. Hopefully, I can't believe I'm saying this, but hopefully Cody Ford's back. I
Well,
can't believe I'm saying those words.
there's a lot of scenarios out there too. You could see Cochran playing left tackle, Cody Ford playing left guard again. Where he played really good, stepping in for Volson. I mean, there's a possibility there if you could have Orlando Brown out and still have Volson on the sideline, or maybe you bump Volson over
well,
the right
I
guard. Who knows?
I think with Kappa's situation, that's the big one. I personally, Cochran actually surprised me a little bit. By no means was he spectacular, but he
No.
did better than I expected. And yeah, they Cody Ford could potentially play guard. I think he started guard 20 games at guard in the NFL between the
Yeah.
Bills and the Cardinals, so he could potentially jump in and play right guard also. I have to have faith in this coaching staff to develop a game plan to shield and get their team ready to play with all these offensive linemen being moved around.
Yeah. Well, and they have to. It's a game that the Browns don't want to win. There are players out there that want to win the game, but organizationally, they need to lose it. They're in a major rebuild. They need a higher draft pick. So Zach Taylor needs to come out and take this game when the other team wants to give it to you. We only have a few minutes here. We want to get everybody out because we know the Chargers game just kicked off. Um, Give us your predictions. What's the predictions for this Bengals game? Actually, let's do two predictions. Give us your predictions on tonight's game score for the Chargers Broncos. Let's do that first. Mon, why don't you give us your prediction?
28-21 Chargers are going to win. It's going to be a good game. Chargers win.
Jake?
I'm gonna say 28-17 Chargers. 28-17 Chargers over the Broncos tonight.
Love it. All right. Now, Bengals Browns. Give me two parts of this prediction. One, give me your score, and two, Jamar Chase catches and yards. Jake, go first.
Yeah, like I said before, guys, I think the Bengals win this one pretty handily. I'll say 31-14 Bengals. And I'm gonna say Jamar has 10 for I'll say 10 for 140. No, I'll say 10 for 150, and I'm gonna say two touchdowns. 10 for 150 and two touchdowns. Mon.
I got Jamar with 7 for about 100. I think it's going to be just a ho-hum day for him. Anybody would take 7 for 100. I think Cincinnati wins 34-14. I think they get 3 turnovers in this game, potentially a turnover, a defensive touchdown. They're going to get great field position. They're going to pick off this kid. And Cincinnati's going to get a couple cheap touchdowns simply because of great field position. 34-14 Cincinnati.
Love it. So I'm sure you guys being old schoolers, what's the record for number of Bengals catches all in a season? Like he's got to be creeping up on that. Is it?
TJ Hushmanzada has the record, 112.
Yeah.
You know what? The
112. It was on Hard Knocks. Yeah.
112 for TJ. I was telling you guys last week. Remember, I was at that game against the Dolphins, and they were just feeding him, like throwing him 1-yard passes, 2-yard passes, trying to get him as many catches against the Dolphins as he could. That game was in Miami, but yeah, I think 112 is the record. So
Jamar's got 102 right now.
Jamar's going to blow away.
He gets that record this week. He gets it this week. We saw it last week. They game planned the shovel passes to him to get those. They want him to get that Triple Crown. That's my only prediction. Jamar breaks TJ's record this week.
I agree. That's why I said 10. Well, I said that he would tie it. I'll go 11. All right, guys. Hey, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We want to get you out of here so you can go watch the Chargers hopefully beat up on the Broncos. Once again, guys, if you like this podcast, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Make sure you check us out on all the awesome podcast platforms, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify. As always, if you like this podcast, make sure you give us that 5-star review. We very much appreciate that. Guys, follow Mon on Twitter at The Fire Mon. Follow me on Twitter at Coach Jake Owens 9. Follow Eric on Twitter at eFlash with 2 H's 88. Follow the Wednesday Night Podcast Network on Twitter at Wednesday Night Pod. And as always, guys, follow the Bengals Pulse on Twitter at Bengals_Pulse9. The same on Instagram without the at Bengals_Pulse9. And as always, guys, check out all the awesome podcasts right here on the Cincinnati Podcast Network. Guys, again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Let's go Chargers. Let's go get this thing done tonight. And we will see you guys right after the Bengals game on Sunday, live from Mon's house. It's Skyline Chili Sunday. I am so excited. He is Eric. He is Mon. I am Jake. Hoo-day, Bengal fans. We will see you on Sunday. Go Chargers.